The streets of Ravenswood were always shrouded in an eerie mist, as if the town itself was trying to conceal its dark secrets. Historian and time traveler Emily Mayfield had grown accustomed to the feeling of unease that settled in the pit of her stomach every time she walked through those streets. She had been sent to Ravenswood in the year 1955 to correct a grave injustice, the wrongful conviction of a young black man, James Parker, for a crime he did not commit. Emily had spent months gathering evidence and building a case to prove James's innocence. And she had finally found an ally in the town's sheriff, Jack Harris. But on this particular evening, as Emily walked into the sheriff's office, she was met with a sight that made her blood run cold. Jack was sitting at his desk, a smug look on his face, and a stack of files in front of him, files that contained all of Emily's research and evidence. "You're a clever girl, Emily," Jack said, his voice dripping with malice. "But you're also a threat to this town's way of life. And I'm afraid I have to take care of you." Emily's eyes widened as Jack revealed his true intentions. He had been playing her all along, using her research to further his own career and maintain the status quo in Ravenswood. Emily's world came crashing down around her. She had trusted Jack, and he had betrayed her in the worst possible way. She felt a wave of anger and desperation wash over her. And for a moment, she lost control. She lunged at Jack, but he was too strong, and he pinned her to the ground. As she struggled to free herself, Emily realized that she was fighting not just for James's freedom, but for her own sanity. She had been running from her inner demons for so long, and now they were closing in on her? With a Herculean effort, Emily managed to break free from Jack's grasp and make a run for it. She knew she had to get out of Ravenswood, but she also knew that she couldn't leave without seeing justice served. She spent the next few days in hiding, gathering her strength and planning her next move. And then, in a bold and desperate bid to clear James's name, Emily broke into the local courthouse and stole the original trial transcripts. But as she read through the transcripts, Emily realized that the truth was far more complicated than she had ever imagined. James had indeed been innocent. But the real culprit was not just a random perpetrator, it was the town's own mayor, who had used his power and influence to cover up the crime. Emily's eyes widened as she read the words, and she felt a sense of horror wash over her. She had been so focused on proving James's innocence that she had never stopped to consider the larger implications of the case. With the transcripts in hand, Emily knew that she had to act fast. She went to the local newspaper and revealed the truth to the editor, a man named Sam who had always been sympathetic to her cause. Together, they published a scathing exposé that shook the town to its core. The mayor was arrested, and James was finally exonerated. But the victory was bittersweet. As Emily watched the mayor being led away in handcuffs, she felt a sense of emptiness wash over her. She had fought so hard for justice, but at what cost? She had lost her ally, her trust, and her sense of security. And as she looked around at the town, she realized that the darkness that had driven her to Ravenswood in the first place was still very much alive. Emily knew that she would never be able to go back to her old life. Not after what she had seen and experienced. She was forever changed, and she would have to live with the consequences of her actions for the rest of her life. As Emily walked away from the courthouse, she felt the mist of Ravenswood closing in around her once again. But this time, she was not alone. She had found a new ally in Sam, and together, they would continue to fight for justice and morality in a town that desperately needed it. And though the road ahead would be long and difficult, Emily knew that she was ready for whatever came next. She had faced her inner demons and emerged victorious. And she was determined to use her newfound strength to make a difference in the world.